We are anonymous. We do not serve kings. We do not bow to liars. And we do not look away when a president, standing behind the seal of the United States, melts down because a single question threatens to unravel everything he has tried to bury. Listen carefully. Tonight we pull back the curtain on the moment Donald Trump's press conference, supposed to be a victory lap, descended into pure panic. The moment when reporters dared to ask the question he could not afford to hear spoken out loud. Mr. President, can you respond to these Epstein emails that were released today? One question, one truth, one weak point in the armor he spent decades crafting. And suddenly the room fractured. Staffers lunged. Reporters shouted. And Trump, the self-declared warrior against the fake news, refused to answer, refused to engage, refused to stand his ground. He ran. Before we continue, if you want the truth amplified, not sanitized, not softened, not filtered through propaganda, tap, subscribe. Share this message widely. The louder you make this, the harder it becomes for the powerful to bury the truth beneath their lies. Now listen. Last night, Donald Trump signed the bill reopening the federal government. He expected applause. He expected praise. He expected headlines calling him the deal-maker he believes he is. Instead, what he got was a political nightmare. Because hours before that press conference, a bombshell story detonated, leaked emails between Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and journalist Michael Wolff. Emails in which Epstein claims Donald Trump knew about Epstein's crimes, his trafficking, his exploitation, his network of wealthy enablers. Epstein wasn't vague. He wasn't hinting. He was explicit. And Trump knew those emails were circulating. He knew reporters were reading them. He knew Americans were seeing them. He knew the question was coming. So when he walked into that briefing room, he wasn't confident. He wasn't swaggering. He wasn't the man his supporters imagine. He was sweating, jittery, unfocused. You can hear it in his rambling monologue about investments, auto plants, AI plants, foreign investment over $18 trillion, a claim so absurd his own administration has contradicted it. He wasn't speaking to inform anyone. He was speaking to distract himself. He was speaking to fill the silence before the question he feared would come. And then it did. The reporter fired off, "Mr. President, can you respond to these Epstein emails that were released today?" Suddenly chaos. Reporters were rushed out. Staffers moved like human shields. Trump backed away from the podium. And the panic was so palpable you could feel it through the screen. Because here is the truth. Donald Trump almost never refuses questions. The only time he runs is when the danger is nuclear level, when the threat is existential. And the Epstein scandal is exactly that. This is not about gossip. This is not about rumor. This is not about political mudslinging. This is about a documented connection between Trump and Epstein that has haunted him for decades. Trump has joked about Epstein liking them on the younger side. Trump has been photographed with Epstein repeatedly. Trump admitted in an interview that he knew Epstein for 15 years and that he was a terrific guy. And now with these leaked emails becoming public, the political fallout is deadly. Because poll after poll after poll shows Americans do not believe Trump is innocent. The majority believe he knew exactly what Epstein was doing. Many believe he was directly involved. Most believe he is suppressing the Epstein files to protect himself and his circle. This is why his panic last night matters. This is why the press conference devolved. This is why the White House staff scrambled to silence the room. Trump wasn't scared of the question. He was scared of the answer. And that brings us deeper into what unfolded next. While reporters were being physically ushered out of the room, they continued firing questions about Epstein. Trump pretended not to hear them. He stared ahead, blinking rapidly, desperate to project calm, while the entire moment felt like a fire alarm blaring behind his eyes. His staff's urgency told the entire story. They couldn't get reporters out fast enough. They couldn't contain the shouting. They couldn't undo the damage. Because they knew what this moment meant. The Epstein scandal is not fading. It is accelerating. It is cutting into Trump's political core. And the numbers show it clearly. Among independents, Trump is cratering. Among suburban voters, he is collapsing. Among young voters, he is in free fall. Among swing voters, he is radioactive. And that is why he tried to pivot clumsily, desperately into a long rant blaming Democrats for the government shutdown. He insisted Democrats caused 20,000 flight delays and cancellations. He claimed Democrats deprived over 1 million government workers of their paychecks. He said Democrats caused food stamp benefits to be cut off for millions and millions of Americans. But every credible poll says the exact opposite. Americans overwhelmingly blame Trump and Republicans for the shutdown because Trump refused to negotiate and attempted to strip away Affordable Care Act subsidies that kept premiums affordable. This is why reporters pushed the Epstein question even harder. This is why he fled. Then came the part of the speech where Trump insisted Americans must not forget this when midterms come around. But the irony is staggering. He is the most unpopular president in the history of modern American polling. He isn't warning Americans. He is begging them, pleading with them not to punish him, because he knows what's coming. And then almost unbelievably, he doubled down on something he has wanted for years, terminating the Senate filibuster. He argued that getting rid of the filibuster would prevent shutdowns. But that is not true. That is not what the filibuster is for. Trump wants the filibuster gone for one reason: control. He wants an unchecked Senate. He wants a rubber-stamp chamber. He wants power, not governance. In a rare moment, he even admitted another shutdown could occur at the end of January. He knows the polls are killing him. He knows the public blames him. He knows another shutdown could politically butcher him. And so he is pushing the Senate GOP to do the one thing even they find dangerous: hand Trump absolute legislative control. It didn't end there. Trump launched into a series of economic lies so transparent it was hard to keep up. He claimed gas is $2.50 a gallon, false. He claimed it had been $2.25 for months, false. He claimed household costs are way down, false. Inflation remains high. Affordability remains a crisis. Consumer confidence is fragile. American families are struggling. His words are propaganda meant to overwrite reality. He then attacked Obamacare, calling it a disaster, claiming President Obama lied about premiums. But then he pivoted to one of the most absurd healthcare proposals in modern political history, giving federal money directly to citizens and telling them to negotiate their own health insurance individually. This is not health reform. This is abandonment. This is a system engineered to bankrupt people. Health experts like Senator Chris Murphy have pointed out the obvious. What happens when someone gets cancer? What happens when someone ends up in the ER? What happens when someone's medical bills exceed their monthly subsidy? Trump offered no answer because there is no answer. His plan collapses instantly. And through all of this, through every lie, every pivot, every desperate talking point, one truth hung over the room like smoke: the Epstein emails. That is why he ran. That is why the staff panicked. That is why reporters fought to keep asking, because they could see the fear on his face. They saw the cracks. A president who claims strength does not flee. A president who claims innocence does not silence the press. A president who claims transparency does not barricade himself from a single question. But Donald Trump did. He ended the press conference early. He fled the podium. He let his staff shove reporters out like they were a physical threat, because in a way they were. Not the reporters themselves, but the truth in their questions. The truth he has fought to bury. The truth that keeps clawing back to the surface. The truth that Epstein, his old friend, his old companion at parties, the man he once praised, left behind in his own words, in his own emails, in his own admissions. Tonight you saw the fear. Tonight you saw the unraveling. Tonight you saw what happens when the truth gets too close. And you will see more, because this story is not over. The emails are just one piece. The signatures on the discharge petition to release the Epstein files are climbing. The political temperature is rising. The panic inside the White House is escalating. And every time the truth pushes forward, Donald Trump inches closer to collapse. If you want this truth amplified, if you want transparency, if you want accountability, then share this message, tap subscribe, and push this video into every algorithm they cannot control. We are anonymous. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Expect us.